So, answering your question. Wow, vocabulary is on page 15, and Taylor, we're going to talk with you here in just a moment. When you look at page 15, you see, obviously, the word aqua, right? Well, there is another word next to it, aquae. Everybody see that? There's the letter F, which right now you don't know what that means, and you don't even care, but it's there. And then the definition of this is what? Water. That's what you're going to put in the blanks. Yes, ma'am, Miss Zoe.
So not all of this is on page 15?
What? It's not all on page 15? What? Oh my gosh. Well, let's see who you are. Miss Marianne has discovered that in the back of the book there's even more words there. However, just work off of what's on page 15. Anything that's not there, we'll take care of in a moment. So really just work off of page 15. See what you can do. Let's see who's here. Taylor, I'm going to get you some stuff in just a moment. But still no Destiny. Still no Zion. You know, yes? What's that? That's what I understand. He is, at present, has not been removed from the list. And still, and, all right, now. Okay, Lucy's supposed to be here today, and she's not. Well. Oh, there you are, Lucy. Oh, sorry, dear. Lucy, you are actually right over here. In this last seat over here. That's where you are. Alphabetical. All right? So there we go. Let's get the folk marked here. So, all right, Destiny's in there go. Ashton Compton's not here today. All right. Taylor, let me get you some stuff, sir. Honestly, you're just copying stuff off of a page. This is not exactly what we call skilled labor. I mean, it would be if you went to Pike, but you know. Actually, in Pike, this would be an AP class, copying stuff out of the book. That would be like a semester-long AP class. Here, It's a warm-up activity. Because North Central's just a little bit better. We're just a cut above. All right, so is Silva on page 15? Yes. What's the second blank then? Somebody go ahead and spell it to us there. How about Miss Allison?
I believe that's the female, the feminine.
I'll take that F there for, we'll talk about what that means in a minute. What would you put in that next blank there? How would you spell what goes in that next blank? Miss Kendall?
S-I-L-V-A-E.
S-I-L-V-A-E. And what's the definition on that bad boy? Yes, sir. Courtney? Forest or woods. Either one is fine. Is number 3 on your page? No, I'm going to give it to you. P-U-E-L-L-A-E. We're going to have that F blank there, and it is girl. What about Tara? Is that on page 15? No. Oh. Well, we'll give you that one. T-E-R-R-A-E. And then F, and it means land. What about number 5? Is that there? Oh. We'll give you that one. V-I-T-A-E, letter F, and it means life. How about the next one? Is that on there? No. Oh. B-O-N-A, B-O-N-U-M, and good is the definition. How about the next one? Is that there? No. Oh. Second one is M-A-G-N-A, M-A-G-N-U-M, big. How about number 8, et? Is that there? Hey, somebody, what's et mean? And there you go, and. Fine. How about number 9, portant? Is that there? No. Oh, that means they carry. And how about almond? Is that there? No, oh, that means they love. All right, so some of them are out of the next chapter. Big freaking deal. So we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. No big deal. Here's the thing. If you look at your course outline, which almost everybody in the room had yesterday, when is our first quiz up in here? First quiz of this year is what day, Courtney?
I don't know exactly as it was on the 4th week.
It's actually not the 4th week. I may be at an exam. The first quiz is actually next week. And Miss Abigail?
On the 11th.
On the 11th, next Thursday, a week from yesterday, is our first quiz in here. Guess what, kids? There's the vocabulary that's going to be on the quiz. You just copied down the answers to the first quiz. Okay? Now, there'll be a little bit more on it, and we'll talk about that as we get closer to that date. But that vocabulary, just like that, is going to be on the quiz next Thursday. Let me tell you how this works. Let's say you come in, I give you the same thing. I give you, it looks just like this. And you remember that aqua means water. You don't remember the other stuff. And you're going, I think that second word is quickenify. Yeah, I think the second word is a quickenify. And I think there was something in that little blank, and I think it was a Q. Okay, well, that's massively wrong. Okay, that is like not even close to right. And here's how I would mark that. I'd circle this because it's wrong, I'd circle that because it's wrong, and I'm going to put -1/2. I'm still giving you half credit because you got the definition right. Let's say you got the definition wrong. Let's say you got the second part completely wrong. You got the F. You remembered the F part. And for the definition, you thought the definition was pancake. Okay? Well, that's pretty massively wrong. I'm still going to give you half credit because you got some. If you get any piece correct, I'm giving you half credit. Okay? To get full credit, you'd need to get every piece correct. So between now and next Thursday, you want to have all that memorized. And you say, now wait just a minute. Is it going to be like that all the time? And the answer, kids, is yes. What is the website you go to for all of your Latin needs? Shout it out. nclatin.org. All right, so nclatin.org, here we go. You go to nclatin.org, you click on what page that has all the good stuff? Nota Bene. You scroll down on the Nota Bene page, and we got a ton of stuff here, and we'll find it. We'll find it. Sometimes I have to search for it. There it is. Latin 1 vocabulary list for first 9 weeks. If I were you, hint, hint, double hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Print out that list over the weekend. That has every single quiz and test vocabulary for the first 9 weeks. Let me show you what it looks like. There it is. Okay? Vocabulary review for first 9 weeks, quiz 1, and there's all the words we just had on the do now. They're right there. You want to know what's on quiz 2? Boom! There it is. There's quiz 2. You want to know what's on quiz 3? Boom! There's the quiz 3 vocabulary. Heck, we're into September probably now, but there's quiz 4 vocabulary. Boom! Vocabulary exam 1. All the vocabulary. Everything you need. So you're going to print that out. You're going to start filling in the blanks for quiz 1. And you're going to start getting ready for that first exam, or first quiz, which is next what day? Next Thursday. And I'm telling you, it's not uncommon for people to get over 100% on the first quiz, because there is extra credit involved. I have absolutely no problem whatsoever if everybody in the room were to get an A. I do not have to have what they call a bell curve. A few A's, a few more B's, mostly C's, some D's, and a few F's. There's some teachers who think that the class should look like that. That's insane. If you're all smart, you're all smart. If you all get an A, everybody gets an A. I'm fine with that. So there's all your vocabulary. Does that make sense, everybody? Make sense where you go, what you got to do? nclatin.org and the Nota Bene page. That's where it is. Okay? Now, speaking of web presence stuff. All right, this is actually, that document I gave you on Wednesday, if you look on the back page, it talks about all the websites and stuff. Look over on there, and there is a blog address that I want to show you because you're in it. So let's see, nclatin.blogspot.com. I think it's on there. Is it on there? Yeah, it's on. Okay. So yesterday, you guys were doing some stuff in small groups, and you noticed I was taking pictures. Some of you noticed I was taking pictures. Some of you wouldn't notice if I set off a nuclear bomb next to you. But anyhow, some of you noticed I was taking pictures. Well, you're on the blog. So I blogged yesterday about what we did, the when and the where. And there's pictures of our class and the period 2 class. And I say all kinds of nice things like, did I mention that I have brilliant students? I say all kinds of really sick, sweet, syrupy stuff about you. All right? So here's the deal. If you're having trouble at home, mom and dad coming down on you, you think you're in line to get a punishment, trot this bad boy out and say, but mommy, daddy, my teacher thinks I'm special. And you show them the post that I wrote about you and how wonderful you are and the stuff you did in class. Share it with mom and dad over the weekend, and they'll go, oh, my darling. All right? And they're going to just think you're super, super wonderful. And for that, all I'm going to say is you owe me. All right? Because I just made you look good. All right? So there you are. You're on the web. There it is. The only reason you should be on the web is if your teacher puts you on the web. Don't take these dumb selfies of people on toilets and then post them. That's dumb stuff. That gets you in big trouble. Yes? A tissue. You can even open the package. Oh, no, the package has already been opened. Well, there you go. You can return that up to the front. All right. So there we go. Let's get into some business. Get out your textbook. Get out your textbook. And we're going to flip over to page 15. And I'll go ahead and tell you, you're going to want your grammar notes handy. Because in about 2 to 4 minutes, maybe up to 4 minutes and 30 seconds from now, we're going to get into grammar notes. So you're going to need the grammar notes section of the notebook handy. Okay? So here we go. We got to pronounce some Latin words. By the way, solveta again. Always. See, you're conversing in Latin. Very nice. Bottom of page 15. Say it after me. Aqua. Aqua. Aquae. Aquae. Feminine. Feminine. Water. Water. Shut the front door. Stop the presses. Hit the brakes. When it comes to vocabulary, you've got to know all that. It is not enough to say aqua means water. That's not enough. You need the full dictionary entry just as we had in the Do Now. The full dictionary entry has 3 pieces of information. There's 2 Latin words, aqua and aquae. Then there's this little letter F, and then there's the definition. That's what you need. You don't know why yet. You will. You're going to know some of it today. But I'm telling you, that's what you need, all those pieces of information. Now, the F stands for, as we just said, it stands for feminine. There's nothing particularly feminine about water. I don't think there's anything particularly masculine about water. Water is just water. You don't really care what that means. In fact, you're not going to care what that means for several weeks. Other than the fact that water is feminine. It doesn't have anything to do with being female or not being male. It's a grammatical distinction. Feminine. Has nothing to do with biology. What it really means, we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. So let's run that back again. Everybody together. Aqua. Aquae. Feminine. Water. And what a lot of people like to do, I don't know if you're a flashcard kind of person. Everybody's got their different ways of memorizing things. But if you're a flashcard kind of person, if that works for you, some people will take a 3x5 card and they'll write aqua, aquae, and F for feminine on one side, and they'll write water on the back. And if you do something like that, you can review then with somebody who isn't even a Latin student. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, somebody who maybe doesn't know Latin. And they can look at the English side of the card and say, water. Then you can spell back to them everything that's on the other side of the card. You can sit there and go A-Q-U-A, A-Q-U-A-E, F. And they can see whether you're right or not. All right, so you can even, I would say you could review with your friends who don't take Latin, but you shouldn't have any friends who don't take Latin. All right, it's very, very important, folks. You should not befriend anyone who is not in Latin. In fact, if you had friends who are not in Latin, end it. End it now. Okay, you can do it over lunch today. But end the friendship. For heaven's sakes, don't date outside the language. You'll be unequally matched, and the relationship will not last. You need to date within the language. I'm just saying. We're going to give you dating tips. I promise. We're going to help you love life. All right. So there we go. We're moving on. Together, insula. Insulae. Feminine. Island. Silwa. Silwae. Feminine. Forest. Weai. Weai. Feminine. Road. And then we got a bunch of verbs here. And these are just one word, one definition. Est. Is. Sunt. Are. Known. Not. It's not really a verb, it's a adverb. Very good. And then we have et. And. Said. But. And those are our what? Conjunction, junction. What's your function? There you go. So some basic vocabulary. Now, did you notice something? And this is where you want your grammar notes out because we're getting ready to get deep. Did you notice something in our pronunciations? And when we pronounced the word Solway the other day, and Solwayta, and Wale, and Waleta, and Silwa, and We Are, did you notice anything odd there, Allison?
The V sound like W.
V's sound like W's. Here's the absolute wonderful thing about Latin. We don't have weird and funky alphabet. We don't have weird and funky letters. We've got the same English alphabet that we've got. Everything is pronounced just like we would pronounce it in English, with a couple exceptions. Here you go. C sounds like K. V sounds like W. Other than that, the alphabet sounds just the same. So P makes a P sound. T makes a T sound. It's just like the regular English alphabet. The only thing you gotta watch out for is that a C is gonna sound like a K. It's gonna be k, like cookie. Like the hard C in English, not the soft C, like race or lace. It's not a soft C, it's always a hard C. And the V, as you've been hearing over the last couple of days, sounds like a W. One other thing that's interesting is that when you have the letters A, E together, you notice how we pronounce the second word in each of those entries, insulae, weai, silwai. What do you notice? Sounds like an I. The A-E letters together sound like I, like your eyeball. And I'm telling you, for a long time, that's going to be about all we need to pay attention to for pronunciation. Really not very difficult stuff. What we got to get into, though, is some serious grammatical terminology. So get ready to write, folks. Here we go. First thing we got to talk about is the fact that Latin is an inflected language. Latin's an inflected language. English is not. But Latin is. And the inflected language simply means this. It's a language in which word endings show word function. An inflected language like Spanish or Romanian or those Romance languages that we talked about yesterday, but unlike English, is one in which word endings show word function. Let's take an example, kiddies. You got a sentence like this. Dog bites man. We'll take another sentence. Man bites dog. Here's my question for you. What, if anything, is different between those two sentences? Maybe you think they're the same. Maybe you think there's something different. What, if anything, is different? Oh, how about it there, Miss Raven?
It's backwards, basically.
It's backwards. I think one of those is going to be on Channel 13 on the 6 o'clock news. One of them is an everyday occurrence and wouldn't get anybody's attention, right? How about, however, if you and I had set up some sort of code at the beginning? Well, let's say that you and I had set up this code, and you want to write this down. And we said that a word with a triangle on it means that it is the subject. And a word with a smiley face stuck on it means that it receives the action. And you and I had agreed on this system. We'd all agreed to this. And then I wrote the sentences this way. Dog triangle bites man smiley. Man smiley bites dog triangle. And given that little system, I ask my question again. What, if anything, is different between the two sentences now? Are they different or are they the same? What do you think, Lena?
They're the same because of the triangles and smileys.
They're the same because of the triangles and the smileys. You and I agreed, you signed off on it, that a word with a triangle means it's the subject. So now it doesn't matter where I put dog triangle in the sentence. Dog is doing the action. Doesn't matter where I put man smiley. The man is receiving. I could write something dumb like this. I could write bites, man, smiley, dog triangle. Okay? Now this is probably the wrong day to be taping this, because if anybody hears me saying bites, man, smiley, dog triangle, they're going to come and take me away. Do you agree or do you see that this third sentence still says the same thing as the first one? Any word with a triangle on the end is the subject. A word with a smiley face on the end is receiving the action. And the thing about an inflected language, instead of using triangles and smiley faces and dumb stuff like that, we're simply going to use letters. The letters at the end of the word are going to change to show how it functions in the sentence. And that's what an inflected language is all about. That's what Latin is all about. That's the key to understanding Latin right there. So we move on. We take this down to a step further. We got to specifically talk about nouns. I'm assuming everybody knows what a noun is. Somebody tell me, what is a noun? Don't mean to insult you, but yeah, Courtney.
Person, place, thing, or idea.
Person, place, thing, or idea. And a lot of folks will have some trouble with their English grammar, and I will tell you, generations of students have said they really learned their English grammar in Latin class, because we're going to go back over English grammar and really help you with the English stuff. But that's what a noun is. Thank you, Courtney. So now we got to talk about an interesting term here, declension. English does not have this term because English is not an inflected language. But Latin has this term. Declension means a group of nouns, that form their cases the same way. Just like you've got a herd of cows, a school of fish, a murder of crows. That's actually the name for a group of crows. They're called a murder. That is bizarre. There's so many weird animal group names, but at any rate. A declension is a group of nouns that form their cases the same way. Just like you got groups of students. You got freshmen, they all kind of behave the same way, take similar classes. Then you got sophomores, and they all kind of behave the same way and take the same set of classes, and juniors and seniors. So a declension is simply a group of nouns. Well, what the heck is a case? Glad you asked. Case is our next term. Case means how a noun functions in a sentence. Case means how a noun functions in a sentence. Let me get very, very specific. In English, we got three basic cases. We have subject, we have possession, and we have object. Okay? So maybe I tell, let's pick on somebody here. How about we pick on Rory? All right? So we could say, Rory killed the cat. All right? So Rory is the subject. We could say Rory killed Cameron's cat. Cameron is showing possession there. And what is it that Rory killed? She killed the cat. The cat is the object of the sentence. We got three basic cases or functions in English. Latin's a little bit more complex and has special names. What you and I call the subject of a sentence, Latin is going to call the nominative. Everybody say that word together, nominative. Nominative. The nominative case is the subject case. It's the subject form. It's just a special technical term that we use in Latin. And you're sitting around going, well, this sucks. Why you got all this technical terminology? Okay, anything you do's got technical terminology. If you're going to be an auto mechanic, right, you've got certain tools, right, and you have to know their terms. You got to know what their names are, right? You can't say, hey, hand me that kind of longish metal thingy, and it's kind of got like a U shape on the end. You say, hand me the wrench, okay? Right, there's terminology in everything. So we got to know the terminology. Nominative means subject. What you and I call possession, Latin calls genitive. Everybody say that one together, genitive. Together, nominative. Genitive. Now when it gets to object, Latin is a little bit more precise. One of the things you're going to find out is that English is not terribly precise. Latin is very precise. And there's a big difference in saying I killed the cat. Cat is an object. I gave food to the cat. Well, the cat's still an object. And I walked with the cat. Cat is an object every single time, and Latin is going, wait a minute. There's a big difference in killing a cat, giving food to a cat, and strolling down the street with a cat. Latin says those are way different. You can't just lump all that together and say that that's object. Latin says we got to divide that up. And very specifically, we've got a form called the dative, which is for indirect object. We've got a case called accusative, which is for direct object. And we've got one more called ablative, which is for object of prepositions. Now we're going to say those, and we're going to talk about this stuff. But let me pause right there. If you're sitting there going, I remember in 7th grade hearing something about indirect objects, but I really don't remember what that means, and I don't know the difference between indirect objects, and I'm going to pass this class, I'm going to fail, and I'm going to have to transfer to Cardinal. All right, first off, that's a fate worse than death, and we would not wish that on anyone. All right, we're not going to transfer you to Cardinal. All right, promise. We're going to make all the English stuff make sense as time goes on. Right now, though, know that there are 5 cases. Let's say them together. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. And there are groups of nouns that when they go to make these forms, all kind of look the same. So there is a group of nouns, and all the subject or nominative forms look the same for this maybe 200-300 nouns. Same group, same declension. Their forms look the same for the possession or genitive case, and so forth. Now, right now, the levels of confusion, the waters of confusion are starting to rise for you. We're going to let the waters rise till they get right about to your nose level, and then we're going to make it all make sense, and the waters of confusion are going to go down. Okay? Hang with me for just another moment or two, and we're going to tie it all together and make it make sense. I've got to introduce another term. Okay? I'm going to introduce another term that will bring us all together. The last term for today is number. At which point you're saying, oh my sweet Lord, he's talking about math. I can't stand math, that's why I'm taking a foreign language. Why are we talking about math in here? Number doesn't have anything to do with math. When it comes to nouns, does anybody know what number means? We use this word in English. We do use this term in English. I asked about the number of a noun. Yeah, Zoe. Boom, baby. Number for nouns simply means singular or plural? So a very legitimate question I can ask you, what is the number of apple? Somebody else might go, well, it doesn't make any sense. Well, sure it does. It's a good grammatical question. What is the number of apple? Yes? Singular, thank you. What is the number of donut? Singular. What is the number of pizzas? Plural. I don't know how many pizzas I have, but the number of the word pizzas is plural. Number simply means singular or plural. That's all that means. So now we got to bring all this jazz back into some sort of focus here. What we got to talk about today is first declension. According to your notes, you just wrote them down. What is a declension? What's a declension, Miss Lucy?
A group of nouns that form in cases of sentence.
We're going to look at the first group of nouns in the Latin language. And if you go to the dictionary, there's several hundred words that would fit in this group. Like there's several hundred freshmen at this school, several hundred sophomores, several hundred juniors and seniors. First declension. I'm going to set up two columns, singular and plural. Because as we just indicated, a noun can have a singular or a plural form. Down the left, I'm going to put the cases. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. So 5 rows and 2 columns. Now, I don't know about you, but I have no desire to do more work than I absolutely have to. So there's no reason to spell out those words all the time. We're going to abbreviate them. N-O-M, G-E-N, D-A-T, A-C-C, and A-B-L. In fact, we'll almost never write those full words out again after today. We will abbreviate them. Okay? But we know what they mean. So here's the deal. When I've got a word that is nominative, which means it is what function. Look at your notes that you just jotted. The nominative shows what function, Rory, subject. When I've got a subject and there's only one of it, it's going to end with the letter A. And if I've got a subject, nominative, and there's more than one of it, it's going to end with A-E. If I've got a genitive word, and genitive is what use, somebody, what use is that? Oh, golly, Miss Taylor.
Possession.
It is possession. If I've got one thing that's owning something, it will also end in A-E. But if I've got more than one thing that's owning something, it will end in A-R-U-M. Now, if I've got one thing that is in the dative case, and what is the dative case used for, Mr. Jake?
Object.
Indirect object. It's also going to end in A-E. But if I've got more than one thing that's in the dative case, it will end in I-S. Now, if I've only got one thing, singular, and it is accusative case, and the accusative case is specifically what use, Courtney, direct object, it's going to end with A-M. And if I've got more than one of it, that's the accusative direct object, it's going to end with A-S. And finally, if I've got one thing that's the ablative case, and the ablative is specifically used for what? Somebody, Miss Cameron. Object of a preposition, it's going to end with a long A. A with a long mark over the top. And if I've got more than one thing that's the object of a preposition, that word will end with I-S. And believe it or not, this chart right here just unlocked a huge portion of the language for you. Suddenly, you will be able to use a whole bunch of words and know exactly how they're used in a sentence. Let me give you an example. Here. All right, so, Okay, how about this? Agricola in Scola laborat. There's a sentence with vocabulary that you don't know. That vocabulary is way ahead of us. We're not to that vocabulary yet, but copy that sentence down. Agricola in Scola laborat. And even though you don't know any of that vocabulary at all, I'm going to argue that you can tell me quite a bit about this sentence. Which word is the subject of this sentence? You're not going to know what it means, but you know which word the subject is. Allison.
Scola.
I'm going to say no to Scola. I kind of see why you might have said that. What do you say there? Let's see here. Kelly. Agricola is the subject because it is nominative. It ends in that short A, nominative. Now, whatever this word means, is there one of it or is there more than one of it?
One.
There's only one of it. It's nominative singular. Which word in this sentence is the object of a preposition, do you think? Courtney. The Scola word, very good. It's ablative because of that long A. And whatever that word means, is there one of it or is there more than one of it? Only one. It's ablative singular. And here's my suggestion. A monkey can go look up the vocabulary. You just did the hard part. The hard part is figuring out how the noun functions in a sentence. A kid from Pike can go look up the words in the dictionary. I mean, come on, that's not a big deal. And you can look that up and find that it means farmer. You can look up this word and find that it means school. You can look up this word and you can find that it means to work. And then you've got a sentence that means the farmer works in the school. But you did the hard work by figuring out how many of the things there are and how they're functioning in the sentence. Now, right away, you want to get this memorized or get the tattoo real quickly, okay? And I'll tell you this right now. If you're at the beach and you got a tattoo of first declension noun endings on your arm, you will attract attention. Now, it may not be the attention you want, but you will attract attention if you've got the tattoo. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to say the endings together, because sometimes people learn more auditorially. And so when you hear the endings, you can start to memorize them. So we're going to say them after me. Ah. I. Arum. Is. Us. Is. Notice when we say the sound I, we mean what? What letters? A-E. We don't mean the letter I, we mean the letters A-E. Let's try it a little bit more at a time. Ah. Wow, train went right off the tracks there. Let's try that again. Ah. I, arum, is, us, is. I can't hear you. I, arum, is, us, is. Sound off like you're gonna conquer somebody. I, arum, is, us, is. I kid you not, if I were a helium balloon, I would not be afraid of you. All right, that is not fierce, that is not harsh, that is not scary. Give me your war face. I'm gonna see you get your war face on. Let's try it again. I, arum, is, us, is. And yet you're laughing. The only reason you laugh is when you're taking something from the dead victim that you've done conquered on the field of battle. Then you can laugh at him. Until you've taken somebody's life, you may not laugh. Why are you laughing? I heard that. You want to get those memories. I want to tell you something. That little military cadence thing, that sticks in people's brains. That's why we all remember song lyrics. Because song lyrics have rhythm and there's some music to them, and it sticks in the human brain. And I've had folks on quizzes, I've had college kids who will do this. And they're sitting there on a quiz, I remember this. And they'll sit there on the quiz and they're doing it. It sticks. So if that works for you as a way to memorize stuff, you want to do that. All right, kiddies, go back to page 15. I'm about to greatly enhance your life. Greatly going to enhance your life. Okay, and then we got to talk about our story. All right, so actually, let's go ahead. Get your story out. I'm going to enhance your life maybe on that. Get your story out. This is your homework. Last night was to translate the story on page 15. So now, let's see how this goes. First, what you got is you got your homework. You're going to make corrections